Welcome, guys. It's an exciting day. We got the XAG P150 out here, and we're about to put this thing through its paces.
Absolutely. Man, she is awesome. She is huge.
This is Simon with HSC. I also got George Romano here.
Pleasure to meet you guys. Thanks for watching.
You're going to be seeing George in a lot more videos coming up in the future. And yeah, P150. What can we talk about with this thing?
I mean, there's a myriad of things we can talk about. There's so many different changes. They've done some upgrading of the pumps. The batteries are a little bit different on this one. The tank itself is a little bit larger. It's 18.5 gallons.
Wow.
The camera alone, wow, totally different. The sensors, it has a front forward camera and a bottom camera as well, just like the P100 Pro. A lot to go over.
There is a lot, and yeah, so many amazing things. We've already flown this a little bit, a lot of exciting stuff. Again, you mentioned some of the kind of key topics: bigger tank size, bigger pumps, much better communication system overall. We'll talk about the accessories here in a minute. The batteries are a new design, although they are still cross-compatible both directions, the old ones with this model, which is awesome. I love that. Some improvements on the cooling system for the charging, the mist cooling system, which is pretty exciting. We'll talk about that as well. And I mean, this thing, as you can see, is just absolutely huge. 56-inch rotors, 4 huge motors, just massive.
It's about an entire foot larger than the P100 Pro.
Yep, we actually measured it from tip to tip. It's about 12'6". Yep. So pretty massive. Let's not spend any more time talking about it. Let's put this thing in the air. All right. All right. So we're here with some chargers, generators, batteries. What's going on, George?
This is a great setup here. And this is one of the best things about XAG. Anything that you've had, if you've flown XAG in the past, is going to be compatible with the new P150. This charging system, the way we have it set up now, was typically used for the P100 Pro. Great little setup we have here. It's a 1300 kW generator. You can purchase these at many different locations. Works fantastically. Then we have a pigtail in the 50 amp circuit that comes around and wires off to 2 of the chargers, the 1306 chargers.
They're so small.
Plugs in, very light. Yeah. And then we have our cooling tank that I'm sure most of you guys are familiar with, the typical one that you fill with water. Can also, again, cross-compatible with the new batteries for the P150, as well as the old style batteries for the P100 Pro. And over here, this is the new one. This here, it's designed to mist. It's not you're not fully submersing the batteries in the water, so obviously contamination is not an issue as it would be maybe with the cooling tank. See all that water coming out of there? This is designed so it just blows a nice mist across the battery. It's got a tank here. This is, I believe it's 4 liters. Is that what they said?
Yeah, so
4 liters.
A little over, yeah, it's a couple gallons.
Yeah, and this will last you a complete 8-hour day.
Yep, it's rated to run about 8 hours. Yeah, so you'll run, these drones run with 2 batteries, so you'll run 2 of these cooling systems on a P100 or P150. This design is going to be a little bit cleaner, a little bit less messy. Like you saw, there's a lot of water that drips off these batteries. This will, and we've had it running all day, although it missed water over it, it evaporates almost immediately. So
Absolutely.
You don't really have any water dripping off of it. It's also very portable. You can transport this with the water filled up. So you don't, if you're going from job to job, you don't have to dump out your water every time to
And then the only difference is with this is on the old one, you could actually connect and disconnect the charging system.
Yep, you can pop it out like that.
Pop it out. And on these, now there's a new kit that comes along with the evaporating system that affixes the...
It screws into place.
Yeah, it screws into place.
So it's still removable pretty easily,
Right.
but the reason the kit changes this plug is that's what actually powers the fan and the pump that's inside of it. So pretty simple design, and the fan and the pump only run when the battery is actually on and charging too.
Absolutely.
So it's not blowing all the time, which again conserves the water. And again, typical charging time on these batteries, from 30 to 90%, you'll expect around about 9 minutes.
Yeah,
usually. It's pretty darn fast.
Absolutely.
These batteries have a function called operation mode that will basically stop the charging at 90%. For people that aren't familiar with these lithium batteries, the 90 to 100% is usually where it's more like 20% of the time that it takes to charge. So by ending at 90%, it extends the life of the battery and it charges faster. So that's how we run these XAG drones all the time, is with the batteries in operation mode. And Got plenty of battery life on these drones. Even emptying an entire tank, we're usually landing with no less than 30% battery.
Absolutely.
So awesome. All right, well let's get going then. Let's talk about some of the other items. Awesome. All right, so we're here with some of the peripherals that come with the P150, and this is where, if you're familiar with the XAG products, this is going to be very different.
Absolutely.
So there's a couple kind of key differences here. First, of course, the remote controller. XAG has listened. They have added a screen to the remote. About
Amazing.
time.
Yeah. And it has a little camera on the front as well.
That's right. Now, I know people are going to ask, I like using my tablet. Can I still do that? And the answer to that is yes. There is another remote option that we don't have just yet, which is a single hand remote controller that allows you to still use your own device. And we also found that you can do the same with this remote too. You can actually connect a tablet or a phone to this remote, just like our P100s as well. Right? Yep. But the screen on this honestly is pretty good. It's bright. It's easy to read. Even in the sun, it's pretty bright today, and we have no problems really seeing it. Yeah, works well. And of course, I think the biggest difference is going to be the connectivity side. Although the antennas look similar, definitely have better communication range, signal quality. Overall, just seems to work better. We have less dropouts in the connection overall. But there's more.
A lot more.
There's more. This right here is the XRTK6. So this is the new RTK system on the P150. A little different than the previous generation. So this has two functions. It can be used as a base station for RTK to the drone.
Or mapping, right?
It can also be used for mapping. You'll see a big pin button at the bottom, or right in the center here, that allows you to use this to set points in your field using the RTK system on board. So pretty slick. It's very small, easy. Again, all this stuff charges on USB-C like we're familiar with, which is great. Battery life on everything seems to be
excellent.
Really good.
Absolutely.
We've had this on all morning, and it's still got plenty of charge left over. And then finally, I think something that I think a lot of people are going to have a lot of questions about, and that is the DL1 data link. So what is the data link, and do I need it? Well, the data link is not required to operate the drone. In fact, today we are operating without
the data link, right?
There's a lot of different communication methods on these drones, and we'd spend all day talking about it, but let's talk about the data link, right? So why would you need this? Well, if you're in areas without any kind of cell phone reception to extend the range and you want to fly really far, that's your ticket. This can be set up and mounted on a post. It even comes with mounts to attach it to a pole. It could be in the field or on your trailer, for example. You can set it up real high, and this will extend the range dramatically. It also allows for connectivity using some other methods. It has a Ethernet port on the bottom where you can actually connect it to for example, a Starlink satellite internet service.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. This will also allow for swarming operations of these drones without requiring any type of internet access, completely offline. So pretty cool piece of equipment.
Absolutely.
We're definitely excited to get a little bit more time on this and be able to fly it, far enough to where we need it. But so far, even without it, basically we're nearly at the point where we can't see the drone, and we still have pretty.
Sounds
good
like it'll
service.
work really well in hilly areas.
Absolutely, yeah. That would be a great solution where you might lose line of sight, or hills where you have a lot of things in the way that are going to prevent
orchards, those kind of things that
exactly.
are going up hills or out in the mountains.
Areas where you can't physically get the remote controller up above the things that will block signal. This is a solution.
Excellent.
Yeah, so pretty exciting, and it's all really easy to set up. They've definitely come a long way in terms of the setup process. All of these devices are actually Bluetooth enabled, which means when you turn on the remote, it sees all the devices right away. You scan the code. There's no linking process like we've seen before, where you have to, hold one foot up in the air and do dances to get it to set up. It was pretty straightforward to link everything up, get it operational, and really, I mean, we actually set it up right here in the field.
Absolutely. And this camera worked great on scanning all the QR codes on each one of the devices. Very easy.
Pretty straightforward. So let's go ahead and get a field set up, get this drone in the air.
Sounds good.
Awesome. All right, we're ready to fly. So we've got our field set up, and this drone does use the same app as the P100 Pro. So the guys that are already familiar operating XAG drones, this is going to be second nature. All your fields are already going to be synced up to this, and it makes it super easy to fly. So we've got this set up. We're going to run it at about 2 gallons an acre. We are going to run it at 30 miles an hour. We do have a regulatory restriction right now of 30 miles an hour while this drone can fly 40. We're going to extrapolate some of the data later and show you it flying at 40 miles an hour by speeding up the video as well. But let's go ahead and hit start operation. Check our boxes, make sure we're clear, clear, clear. Slide over, it's uploading the route. You can see how fast it actually loads. All right, drone should be taking off any second. There it is, the beep. And off it goes. Awesome. So you can see it actually selected the row closest to us to start the operation. And I mean, just how fast it is from taking off to actually starting the job is pretty amazing. We can see on our screen right where it's at. We can even pop open our camera and it looks amazing. A lot of really great data you see here on the heads-up display for the camera, which I really like. That's a nice new feature. It shows you your radar altitude along with your relative altitude from your takeoff location, which can be pretty handy. I'd say having operated both the DJI systems and the XAG systems, everybody knows the camera quality and signal quality has always been one of the weaker points on XAG. I'd say on the P150 that's been resolved. We're seeing pretty phenomenal camera quality. I would say on par with DJI. It's pretty darn close. See it turning. Look how quick it actually turns around. We can bring it a little bit closer here. We can get a little closer as it comes back. So a lot of improvements. This field isn't that big. It's only flying about, I think, 1,200 feet or so from us, but our signal quality isn't dropping whatsoever. Something else we should talk about too, and we're not using the data link right now, but as we talked about earlier, the data link can extend the range, but we do have the drone set up using a 4G cellular SIM card plan as well. And the way that works is both the remote and the drone have a cell phone data plan on board. And if the drone were to lose signal from the remote, it will automatically switch over to that cell phone plan. And we've been testing that. It works really, really, really well on this system. It's pretty seamless if it loses signal. So you have really several different methods of communication you can use with this system. There it is coming back. So now we're going to see it cut across to complete the rest of the field. Again, it started somewhat in the middle to save time. Pretty quiet too. For the size of the drone, pretty impressive. A couple other bonuses we've been seeing on this model is the droplet size. On the 100 Pro, the highest you can go is about 500 microns. It does actually let us set the rate all the way to 1500 on this drone. We did do some tests with it. We're going to be doing some water sensitive cards later, but just looking at it, you can see, it is really huge droplets. So for jobs that really can't afford any kind of drift, or jobs like fence rows where you want a very narrow swath, that's a nice bonus. We can see here we've completed about 25% of our operation, and I think we're going to keep the camera rolling and show you this entire job, including the takeoff and landing. So it'll give you a really good example of a real world operation flying 15 acres. Been running some tests at higher volumes too. This is at 2 GPA, and again, it can fly faster than this technically, but even at higher volumes, we can still, because the pumps are such a high output rate, we're able to maintain a high speed as well, which is really going to help productivity for guys. I know you guys in California are spraying at 5 GPA. This drone is going to make a huge difference in productivity, even compared to the 100 Pro. See it come back. The layout, I mentioned earlier, this is the same app that we've been running on the 100 Pros and other XAG drones. And you're probably wondering, well, that looks nothing like what I'm used to. Well, they did change the orientation from portrait to landscape mode. They have now offered an update on the P100 Pro drones as well to run it in landscape mode. Awesome. Fantastic. Very good. We're going to keep it going here. So now our kind of our primary instruments are all at the top. Pretty easy to see actually, and I have this in direct sunlight. I'm actually pretty impressed. It's pretty bright. I'd say it's on par with our triple tech devices that we like to use on the other drones. Awesome. About 40% done. Got a couple gallons remaining. So we'll see it come back here soon. Let's take a look at our camera again. Yeah, it's looking great. Awesome. Yeah, it looks good. Just through our testing so far, we definitely see that the obstacle detection, while it's really good on the 100 Pro, definitely seems a bit improved on this. It seems like it's picking up obstacles even farther away. The terrain following seems a little less jumpy than the 100 Pro. It definitely flies really smooth, especially over terrain like this where you have a lot of variability in the height between the plants and the ground. So that's pretty exciting. I have a feeling this drone, I'm sure our guys out west are going to be putting these through its paces. This drone's going to do really amazing in mountainous terrain. All right, I think we're going to see it come and return home here any second. There it is. It just stopped. It's set its point and it's coming right back home. So we'll see it land right where we took off from. Here it is. All right. Okay, it's adjusting its position a little bit. There it goes. Fantastic. Let's go ahead and swap out the batteries. I'll show you that process and show you how simple that is. Here's our new batteries. Walk over to the drone. Like some of the other XAG models that you might be familiar with, this drone does have an onboard battery backup. So as you remove the onboard batteries, your avionics, GPS system, route that you load, all stay ready to go, loaded and connected to the system, so you don't have any time down between flights. It's basically as fast as you can put the batteries in and refill the tank. This drone is ready to go. So both our batteries are on. Oh, I didn't hold this one long enough. There we go. Both our batteries are on. Let's set these out of the way. We'll get that tank filled up. Of course, today we're just doing a demonstration with water. Let's get this loaded up. You mind opening that valve for me, George? Awesome. Okay. Something that we're definitely going to see with this drones, just in general, getting bigger and bigger, the need for even more powerful pumps. I think this is going to be the limiting factor on the ground. You're going to need something that fills up quick. This is almost 20 gallons, and really to maximize productivity, you'll want to keep the time on the ground under a minute. So you'll need a pretty powerful pump to fill this up. The lids are pretty handy. They have this little cover on top. It has I haven't actually measured it, I think a 2-inch opening on the top. And you can also pop the lids off really easily. Yep. We'll wait for it to fill all the way up. Great. All right, almost there, George. We'll get a little bit more. Okay, that should be good. Okay. Alrighty, let's get this thing in the air. So yeah, this gives you a good idea of what it's like to, real world expectations of flying this drone, time on the ground. getting batteries swapped out. We're not going to charge the batteries right now because you wouldn't be able to hear me over the generator right behind us, but we'll go ahead and click resume, check our field area, make sure we're clear. We are clear. Resume operation. And it should take off any moment now. There you go. All right. Beautiful. Very good. This system's pretty easy to use. You know, one of the things that we get asked a lot is how does this compare to other drones like a DJI drone, for example, particularly in the software. Well, you know, I will admit early on the XAG drones, I don't think they were quite up to par to the the DJI systems in terms of ease of use. I think that's changed. The software's gotten much, much easier to use. The setup has gotten easier to use. Creating fields, you have so many options and features in this that are pretty amazing. I mean, we have full prescription rate spraying compatible with all the leading softwares like Pix4D and Agrimo now. 3D route operations for really steep environments. All kinds of stuff. It's gotten pretty amazing. We can make all kinds of edits within the app as well. Everything's synced to the cloud, so it's seamless to transition from one drone to the next or even a different device. It's extremely, extremely easy to operate. It really, we've come a long ways, big strides in that regard. Again, we can take a look at our camera. Looks amazing. We do also have a downward facing camera that I can switch to with a button on the remote right here. You'll be able to see it on the screen here momentarily. This camera is really useful for precision landing. So if you plan on flying the drone and landing it somewhere else, the camera makes it really easy to position it for landing if you're landing manually. Also, a couple extra features we've noticed on the 150 over some of the previous XAG models like the 100 Pro. There's additional options for what you want the drone to do when it completes the job. On the 100 Pro, it will always return home and land. On this drone, you have a couple options. You can have it return home and land. You can also have it stop, hover, and ascend at the end of the operation. I think it has a couple other options too that we've just recently discovered. So that could be useful if you're planning on stair-stepping down a field. You can actually have it stop at the end of the field and then you can manually land it at that location. Awesome. It's doing great. We should be able to complete this 30-acre field with just 2 flights. Battery life, honestly, I'm pretty impressed. It seems to be pretty excellent. I think we ended the last flight, you know, pretty high battery level. Those batteries, if we had them on charge right now, they'd be done before we land. So our packages on these are typically include 8 batteries, 2 chargers, and that should keep you flying nonstop. Okay. Looking pretty good. Awesome. Great. A couple other differences from guys that are familiar with XAG. There's a few different types of positioning modes in terms of its GPS. Right now we're operating in VRTK mode, which was available on the previous models too. Of course, there's the RTK, which is the highest precision mode, which we can use with either our portable base station. We can also connect to a local network like a CORS network. They've also added an additional option, which we're still doing testing with, which is called PPP positioning, which is supposedly even better than the VRTK. It takes a little longer, my understanding, to configure it initially. The drone has to sit in one spot, I believe, for about 10 minutes. But yeah, just more options, more features that we can use to make the precision of these drones even better than they are now, which is pretty exciting. Only got a couple rows left. Again, this field, we can see at the very bottom, the progress. We're at 84%. and it is exactly 15 acres. We're at 12 and a half of 15 acres now. It's just got a little bit left. And when we're done, we'll put a little timer at the bottom to show exactly how long it took to spray this whole field, including the time in the ground, and we can calculate for that. 13 acres, just got 2 acres left. And I'm really excited to come back here again and try it again at its maximum speed of 40 miles an hour, because of course that'll get us about 10-15% faster. Pretty exciting. All right, real quick, I wanted to jump in here. I want to do the math and see what time it would take to finish this job at 40 miles per hour. So in the video I said 10 to 20% faster. It's actually 33%. So our original time, 13 minutes and 33 seconds, or 813 seconds. 33% faster would be 268 seconds faster. The total time at 40 miles per hour, just extrapolating the math, would be 545 seconds, or 9 minutes and 5 seconds. Wow, that's fast. Looks great out there, very smooth. Something I get asked a lot about spraying drones, especially people that haven't seen them in person, is how loud are they? Are they gonna bother my neighbors when I fly them? And right now I can tell you the drone's about 450 feet, or about 500 feet away from us now. I can't hear it at all. It's kind of amazing how quiet they actually are. So if you're more than a few hundred feet away, you can't hear it. Okay, nearly done. I think we may have been just a little short on the tank there. It might not complete it, but yeah, it's coming home. We had about half a row left, but that's all right. So we'll bring it back. It's coming home right now. Here it comes. It's moving. Coming in for landing. All right. Ooh, a bit of dust there. Great. Okay. I'm pretty happy with that. I think it flies pretty darn smooth. We're going to continue doing more testing with this. Keep an eye out on our YouTube channel and on our website, hse-uav.com, for more testing. We are going to be doing some comparisons to other drones very soon, and spray testing and data on this as well. If you have any questions, again, visit us on our website. Check us out in the link below. Give us a call, give us a ring. We'll be happy to help you. Thanks again, guys.